or myself. And if I find him, will I tell him, or will he tell me? Has he run away only for himself or for all of us? And what he's done, is this a retreat or an advance? I don't know. I only know I have to find him. Kaplan there. That makes 4 places so far. Where has he gone? Where would he go? Think back when all you knew of his world was what Anna had told you. And Laurie.
I don't know, Laurie. Looks pretty tough.
The holster stand is adjustable. I don't know. Daddy invented Mr. Top Gun.
What else did he invent?
You got a coin? Put the coin in, and Mr. Top Gun will give you the order.
You mean he talks?
As fast as you can. Draw and fire. He's faster. Well, if you miss, he'll insult you.
People really need this?
Oh, I think it's the most important invention since a steam engine. Just think of all the pent-up hostilities it releases. And nobody gets hurt.
I'm the marshal of this here town, and I'm gonna referee this shootout. To load your gun, just push the muzzle down on one of the corks in front of you. You cock the gun when you draw. Ready? All right. Draw. All right, you greenhorn dude. I told you I was the fastest draw. Gun reloaded. You ready to try again?
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Draw. You miserable polecat. You're not as fast as you thought you were, are you?
So I'll leave.
Reload. You have one more shot. Draw. You got me. I had a little dust in my eyes.
Who said it's a man's world? I have a feeling I'd hate your father.
Oh, I'm so glad you'd like to meet him. Hi, Tommy. Oh, Tommy, this is Tom.
Hi, sir.
Hey, are you in a betting mood?
Oh, dear. Is $5 too rich?
I'll hold the money. We're going to double this in 10 minutes. Well, come on, Todd. Give me 5.
Okay, come on.
Come on.
Now remember, just talking to him doesn't count. He's got to actually step outside the lab, okay?
Or let me come in.
You don't stand much of a chance, son. Elephants don't lay eggs, you know.
a surprise for you. Do you realize, Daddy, you could have a heart attack or starve to death or maybe have rickets and nobody would ever notice?
Well, let's imagine, for example, I were to fall on the floor a victim of a raging attack of rickets. If that were to happen, a series of alarms would sound in Mr. Anderson's office and at the same moment in the dispensary. Both Mr. Anderson and Nurse Estabrook have keys.
Don't you care about my surprise?
Very deeply.
Well, why don't you come out and meet him?
I can see him from here.
Oh, Daddy.
How do you do, son?
How do you do, sir?
Fine-looking young man. What do you do, son?
At the moment, I'm trying to figure out how you can see through a door.
Oh, just look above the speaker. Yes, you look fine, son. What else do you do?
As of 2 days ago, I worked for your wife.
You seem quite young to be a dentist.
Did he say a dentist?
Yes.
I'm not actually a dentist. I'm in the orientation section. Pre-treatment interviews and post-treatment treatment, you know?
No, I don't know.
Mother says he has a great future in child engineering.
Nevertheless, bring him home for dinner some night. Your mother's not accepting an award.
Daddy? Daddy, speak to me. Daddy!
Bones seem intact. Don't seem to be missing anything.
Daddy, good night.
No, sir. Elephants don't lay eggs.
Morning, Dr. Martin. When will you need it?
Morning, Johnny. Oh, about 12:30, I think.
Another speech?
No, just lunch alone today. My looking forward to it.
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Bradley. Good morning, Mark.
Do you have a toothache?
Oh, nobody has a toothache.
I got a toothache.
You only think you have a toothache. But you mustn't think about it anymore. We're going to have fun, aren't we? Mr. Stiles is waiting for you, Mrs. Bradley. Good to have you back, Doctor.
Thank you, Nona. Would you call Larson's and have him frame that for me?
Which wall?
The same wall, the trophy wall, of course.
Well, I'm afraid last week's plaque from Young Matrons for Sibling Improvement finished that wall, Doctor.
Well, ask Mr. Larson to start a new wall, then. Nona, did my husband phone?
No, Doctor.
Would you get him for me, please?
Tape recorder.
Do you like to dream, Mark?
I like cartoons.
What kind?
Chipmunks.
We have a fine selection of cartoons we run while the child is having his TEETHFILLED.
Takes all the barbarism out of it, doesn't it?
I bet you like music.
How much?
Well, the way you're rocking, fine sense of rhythm.
Mashed potato.
Mashed potato?
New twist song.
Oh. Well, we'll order several sides. We like to play the child's favorite music before he gets into the CHAIR.
Now, Mrs. Bradley, there are several things only you can answer. I'd like to run over possible early traumas, familial relationships, sibling rivalries, sleep habits, enuresis.
He's never been sick a day in his life. Learn something new every day, don't we? No, he was trained very early. Stopped when he was 2.
Is that a fact?
But, Larry, I'm giving the party for you. Laurie in love, heavens no. What young man? Oh, Todd. Yes, as a matter of fact, she's bringing him to the party tonight, but you'd better be sure and attend. All right. Just try not to blow yourself to pieces before tonight. Yes, 8 o'clock. Goodbye, dear. Nona, bring in the diary and the charts and the tape for the 3 days I've been gone.
Darling, come being authority. My husband is agreeing with Max Mayberry, who agrees with Philip Wiley that women are destroying America. It's the thing, a revival of the momism indictment. I want you to tell him your secret. How a woman can have a happy marriage and a successful career. Actually, it's the only reason I brought him tonight. So you could convince him. He has a monomania on the subject. If you can't straighten him out, into the pool he goes. The deep end, I have him heavily insured.
Well, he may be right, you know. I remember something that a prominent woman said. I'm glad that I'm not a man, because then I should be obliged to marry a woman.
Anna, you are literally handing him the atom bomb.
What? Come with me. I want you to meet some moderately exciting people.
Where's the bar?
Todd, I'm serious.
So am I. Where's the bar? Last week we had dinner at the beach, and I said to the waiter, 2 salads, please, and you said both with Roquefort, just like that, straight from the hip. Laurie, I don't like Roquefort.
Well, why didn't you say something? I would have.
Come on, let's have a drink.
Oh, honey, you go ahead. I'll wait for Daddy. As soon as I set him on the right track. Believe me, this party is so important to Mother. She's trying to expose him to more people, open him up. He's so locked up in himself. Go ahead, get your drink. I'll find you.
Martini. 2. Real dusty. Here. Thank you. Yale?
Shows?
59? 60.
60. My third and last year, I didn't finish.
Nobody finishes. We end, but we never finish.
My name's Todd Stiles.
How do you like the party, Todd Stiles?
I like the dusty martinis.
How'd you like to buy the whole shebang? Know what a party like this cost? Liquor, $750. Food, say $500. Help, $250. Guitar player. What does a guitar player earn? Well, let's say $50. The two boys out front parking cars, $20 apiece. That's precisely $1,590. I used to teach at Yale, cybernetics among other things. $1,590 is almost 2 months' salary.
Dust or gold dust?
Anna Martin was a dental assistant in the town. A little underweight, but not at all bad looking. She earned $33.62 a week. Now she earns $100,000 a year. What's it worth to you?
The 100,000?
No, the party. $100? 50? 10?
Throw in a gift wrap?
I wouldn't buy it either. Have you heard any of the conversations? Of course, if you could see your way clear to buy the party, I'd take you around and introduce you as the host and the inventor of Kaplan's Law. That's what they're really celebrating tonight. Dr. Martin and his wife, Dr. Martin, have been celebrating it every April for the past 3 years. Ever since he left Yale and got into machines. Ever since she became whatever it is she's become. You'd like Kaplan.
That depends on his law.
1 part science, 9 parts hope. Man, states Kaplan, is and always will be superior to the machine.
I should have had Kaplan with me last night. I got shot down by a machine.
But machines cannot make that creative leap. No matter how hard we try, we can't make them think. They cannot produce anything new. Man can.
What does Kaplan have to say about man versus women?
On that issue, Kaplan, alas, is silent. You see, Dr. Martin, that is the Major Dr. Martin. Would you please tell her I was here?
Whom shall I say?
Kaplan.
Todd!
Will you run me over to the factory? Mother and I are really burned up about Daddy. He still hasn't arrived. There's no answer in the lab, and the door is locked.
Daddy was here, and Daddy has gone. We had a lovely, dusty drink together.
In the morning, he was gone, and I was looking for him. Had he run away for himself or for all men? Was he running toward Kaplan and from Martin? Was this a retreat or an advance?
take the plates away if you would, Martha. How about a game of gin? You used to like that.
Oh, it's only fun three-handed.
Well, wasn't your young man going to stop by? He could play the third hand.
No, he said he was going to try down towards San Diego.
How about a movie, something light?
Good night, Mother.
Dory? Do you blame me for this?
This is not a contest, Mother. And I don't intend to cast the deciding vote. So please, don't start campaigning.
You do blame me, don't you?
Last night, at the party, a boy I like very much. The boy works for you, Todd Stiles. He said to me, I hate Roquefort dressing. And all this time, without ever asking him, at dinners he's taken me out to, I've been ordering Roquefort dressing for salad. Mother, how many dressings on how many salads and how many dinners have we decided for Daddy without ever once asking him?
Like there's 10 guys between me and the title. All the same, if I do say so myself, I'm a pretty classy little fighter. Now she comes on the scene. She comes on like a lamb. But after the wedding ring goes on, I know I got myself a tiger. You got no ambition, she says, Tommy. You're a bag of oats. Get in there and bounce them for baby. I says, look, honey, to me, you know, it's just a job. Am I supposed to get my kicks caving guys in? Hey, kid. So I wake up one morning. It's very clear to me I married myself an animal trainer, huh?
Some walnuts? Raisins?
I'd just about given up on you.
Why didn't you?
I guess I want to try to understand.
So do we all. So we come here from some enchantress fleeing. Sit down.
I says to her, honey, why, huh? What's with you? What is this get in there, Tommy, and kill him, huh? Well, you know how those things work. When you're ready to ask yourself a question like that, you're already halfway to the answer, right? Huh? Right? So I figured it out for myself. Every time I clobber a guy, she thinks it's for her, huh? It gives her a big charge. Huh? Yeah. So I nail her with it. She says, yeah. Yeah, it makes me feel high. It makes me love you. I say to her, honey, if I ever stop hitting people, Would you love me? Huh? Just don't try stopping, she says. Yeah. So here I am.
You know what a model husband is? That's a man who wears a white flag for a suit, and every day he negotiates peace. And always he winds up in the same position, unconditional surrender. I'm a model husband. In addition, I'm a movie producer. But lately, nobody comes to see my pictures. Of course, when I think about some of my pictures, I don't blame them. My wife. May I tell you about my wife? Listen, she's a good woman. She raised our children. You can eat off our floors. And she never looked at another man. But when I married her, she was a cashier in a second-run theater in Buffalo. Today, she's an expert on box office figures. You want to know what Moon in the Caribbean grossed first run, opening week, Detroit? She'll tell you, to the penny. I say to her, Marion, I'm doing the same pictures I did 20 years ago, and they don't work anymore. Let's go make a picture in Europe that nobody will understand except you and me. And she gives me that look. You know, that look? And she says, who understands you anyway? Europe. Listen, Arnie, your last 6 pictures lost 2 studios, 1,300,000. So you just better get hold of yourself and come through with a smash. You think I want to sit around here and chew raisins? I want to go back out there. But I can't live with a cash register. Maybe I should go into TV. Those TV guys, nobody bothers them. I'm not married.
A man can lose his wallet, and people will knock themselves out, helping him try to find it. He can lose his arm, and they'll cry for him. He can even lose his wife, and they'll click their tongue. But a man losing himself passes as quietly as a marshmallow into a cup of hot chocolate. This young man knows my wife. Where could anyone find a lovelier woman? You, Ames, you run from brutality, and good for you. You, Gunter, you run from vulgarity. But what do I run from? Because my wife makes twice as much money as I do? Not at all. I'm proud of her. Though I was happier with her when she was a dentist instead of a dentist. One day, early in our marriage, I bought a little pencil sketch in a store that sold used books. I paid 50 cents for it. I went to the 5 and 10 and got a frame. Rushed home with it and hung it in my den. My den. Anna promptly moved it into the bathroom. I promptly moved it back. But the next day when I came home from work, there it was in the bathroom. I never moved it again. I like to think I saw in this small incident a portent of inevitable war. And all these years I've been postponing and postponing the counterattack. That's why I came here, Todd Stiles, friend of my daughter, employee of my wife, to decide whether the counterattack, whatever the cost, or surrender.
whatever the price.
I think you've decided, Doctor.
Meet me in my laboratory at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
This then faced us with two problems. First, to create a vending machine which in one form or another was not already on the market. Second, to create a machine which would offer a service or commodity so deeply needed that the public would be willing to pay not 10 cents, not a quarter, but as much as $5. A machine which meets the psychological needs so deep, so great, that $5 will seem like nothing. First, I asked myself a question. Lawrence Martin, what was the most enjoyable period in your life? And I remember the most wonderful, the most tender time was when I was courting my wife. It was then I felt truly alive, most like a man. Gentlemen, I decided my problem was, the company's problem was, how can we turn this tender time, this lovely period in the life of all young men, into hard cash? My thinking over the past 2 months has led me to believe that courting a girl today has become an increasingly fearful, difficult, almost impossible task for many young men in our society. And so it follows. There's a vast untapped market among men today for a machine which would help them court women. Also, there's a vast untapped market among women themselves who might in time, or for all we know, overnight, might come to prefer the machine to the man. I asked Tommy to go out in the street, pick out any young unmarried couple at random that might come along. But they will serve to demonstrate both the potential and the purpose of this love machine.
A love machine?
Well, you could hardly call it Project X.
Well, that's this thing.
Right up there. What is your name, my dear?
Janie Saunders.
Well, Janie. Will you tell it to the machine? Ordinarily, except on this pilot model, or for purposes of demonstration, the machine will have a tiny compartment to one side, shaped probably like a miniature vine-covered cottage, into which the patron will step. Certain basic information is fed to the machine by the patron. Then, Janie, if you hold it just a little closer, and just answer the questions asked by the machine. You may whisper, some of them are personal.
Nobody gets personal with my girl.
Well, wouldn't you like us to land on the moon before the Russians?
Well, yeah, but,
Well, stop impeding the forward march of science. knows the best way to court Janie Saunders. The quickest, most surefire way to her heart.
I don't care who gets to the moon first. Nobody gets personal with Janie.
There are 16 different perfume combinations. Now, based on the confidential information told the love machine by Janie, things she would never tell her boyfriend, the machine makes the ideal selection for Janie.
I don't quite know what to say. It is personal, isn't it?
It's intended to be personal.
Come on, let's cut out.
Get lost.
You see, with the love machine, we can completely eliminate man and give women the self-sufficiency they say they want.
What are you guys, a bunch of nuts? Hey,
Stop it! Gentlemen.
Martin, I'm going to have you blackballed in every laboratory from coast to coast.
I'd appreciate that, Mr. Anderson.
This
I just happened to be passing by. Thanks to a crash course in Spanish, 2 road map, 3 tanks of gas, and a burning case of curiosity.
Well, I'm always glad to see a visitor from the planet of Psychodontia.
You know, it took me a couple of weeks to find you. That's quite a sign.
I bet the extra 50 cents caught your eye.
Oh, yeah. The fact that 1 chair is $35 and 6 chairs are $1,000, that...
1,050 cents, please.
That didn't stop me a minute. What's the 50 cents for?
Well, that's what I had to pay Serafina for painting the sign. The $1,000 is pure profit.
Do you actually think that somebody's going to spend $35 for 1 chair and $1,000 for 6?
Well, it was fun to make 1 chair. It'd be a bore to make 6.
Well, what if somebody buys this one?
It's perfect business.
I didn't ask for this job, but between your wife and Lori, I got nominated and chose to run. Your wife squared things with the factory about that love machine.
And your name's clear now, and you can come home any time.
What do you see, Todd Stiles, when you look at this chair I carved?
Good workmanship, good design.
What would Kaplan see if he looked at it?
He'd see that it was carved by a man's hands out of living wood. He'd see it was made in the light of the sun, not under a fluorescent tube. And he'd see it was one man's Declaration of Independence.
You and Kaplan, son. I'm sorry you couldn't have spent more time together. You two would get along just fine. Tell them. Tell them I miss them. Tell them I love them. But don't get them all stirred up and sentimental. Tell them the truth. I may not come back.
Doctor, you're just not going to sit here in this chair for the rest of your life.
That's tomorrow's problem. And tomorrow's untouchable. I'll tell you this, Kaplan's friend of the moment. I'm happy sitting here in my one chair, not knowing if today is Tuesday or Friday. Knowing only that it's morning. That's all you can tell them. For some reasons I do not know or care about, I'm happy.
Tell him, Doctor.
Here's Mr. Stiles now, just in time. The children have been asking for you. This morning is their final pre-treatment treatment before going into the CHAIR.
You mean before they go into the chair?
Today, all 4 children are scheduled to have their TEETH FILLED.
What she's trying to tell you is that in a few minutes you're going to go inside and sit in a dentist's chair and have your teeth filled.
No!
Oh, Mrs. Bradley, what are you raising, a man or an ostrich? Now, who's going to show him where the sand is when you're not around? Now, Mark, just take it easy. It's not going to hurt that much. What if it does hurt a little? It's time you started to learn how to take it in your stride.
Todd Stiles, if you can possibly explain your actions, I'll listen. Otherwise, you're fired.
You asked me to give your husband a message. Well, I told him, and the answer is no thanks.
Well, what's that got to do with terrifying these poor children?
Well, I'll just tell you, Dr. Martin. I stood here watching that little boy rocking, surrounded by well-meaning females, insulating him from LIFE, maneuvering him, deciding for him, lying to him. And I said to myself, if he's not lucky, if somebody doesn't tell him now, maybe in 30 years he'll wind up sitting in a pueblo carving chairs and laughing out loud with joy to be on his own again. Now you can fire me. Anybody can quit.
Todd? You did say Larry was carving chairs?
One chair.
Tell me, is it a good chair? I want to buy a chair, please. You do sell chairs, don't you?
Well, I only have...
Larry, remember the print that's been hanging in the bathroom all these years? It's back in your den now.
Daddy? Oh, Daddy, I'm so happy.
Senor, how would you like to buy a chair?
This has been a Screen Gems film presentation from Columbia Pictures. Herbert B. Leonard, executive producer.